All right. Hello, bitches and assholes. So
I need to start listening to these
as
things
soon as I start recording.
before I
All right.
fucking.
So today I am going to be talking about a man they labeled the Butcher of Lechtingen.
I need to start
Probably not
listening
saying
to
that
these
right.
before I play them.
But it is in northern Germany.
Aries, I don't know if you
it
missed that, so
happened
I'm gonna
in
restart it.
All right. Hello, bitches and assholes. So that is. Oh, and there's the dog as soon as I start recording. All right. So today I am going to be talking about a man they labeled the Butcher of Lechtingen. Probably not saying that right, but it is in northern Germany.
It's Lechtingen.
And it happened in 1898.
You gotta get that.
So in this little village that I just said, and I don't want to mess up the name again,
to me.
but it's a little village in northern Germany where two young girls, Hilda and Elsa, disappeared while they were playing in the woods. When they didn't return, the villagers all were in a desperate pursuit to find these girls. They kept looking through the woods, calling out their names. But eventually, they did find the two girls, and
Everybody
they were unalived. When they found their bodies, it is said that they were horribly mutilated, and it looked like it had been hacked at with a knife. Their limbs were almost taken off, and trigger warning for anyone that doesn't like gruesome stuff, but it's pretty gross on what happened to these girls. There were no signs of SA, but they were. The villagers said the person that did this was deeply disturbed. So among the bystanders was a man named Ludwig Tesnow, who we now know as the Butcher. He was a carpenter who seemed really detached to everything that was going on around him. It came out that the villagers saw him in town with small stains on his clothing. He claimed it was from wood dye. When he was questioned, they really had no way of telling whether he was lying or not, or if it was BLOOD, because forensic science back then was not really what it is today. So that case ended up going cold and he was released. Then in 1901, in Damsdorf, which was 3 years later, the village had a similar nightmare happen. But this time, instead of two young girls, it was two young boys. Their names were Herman and Peter. They went missing after they were seen by villagers collecting acorns and playing in the forest and just being kids.
Tap, tap, tap.
The villagers in this instance again found the boys' remains, and it was pretty much exactly what happened to the sisters, the 3 years. It is said that the murderer took time with these bodies, but there was no essay no sign of it. But again, forensic evidence back then. And again, a witness reported seeing a man near the area. Again, Ludwig Tesnow. Police recalled the unsolved murder of the two sisters before. They revisited their files, and they realized that Tesnow had been a suspect in those murders. They put the cases side by side, realized that the similarities in both were way too close for them to ignore and say nothing about. This time, though, the investigators confiscated his clothing and tools, and all were stained with what he insisted was wood dye. Dr. Paul, because I'm not trying to say this man's last name, he was a German scientist who, at the time, developed a revolutionary method. And it was this test that could differentiate between human and animal BLOOD. It was the first time this test had ever been used in a criminal case. When he applied the test to the stains on his coat, hat, and pants, the results came back that it was human, and not just from one person. Some of it was animal, and likely from sheep or goats, things back then. But most of it that was the stains on his clothing, most of it was from humans, and more than one child. It doesn't specifically say how they knew it was a child or an adult or anything like that, but regardless, it was human and it wasn't his. It was the first scientific evidence to directly implicate a suspect based on species-specific BLOOD analysis, and it was conclusive. So, in October of 1901, which is 4 or 5 months after the brothers were unalived, he was arrested and charged with the murder of the brothers. It was during his interrogation that he confessed not only to the brothers, but also to the sisters 3 years prior. And to a series of animal mutilation. I don't know if I can say that for TikTok. Listen, I'm recording this. I'm not there with you. Just go along with it. Tippy tappy, tippy tappy. I don't know. His method was always the same. They said he would lure the victims into a isolated area and murder them. Apparently, there was no schmexual motive behind his unalivings. He was just deranged. He claimed to be under the influence of uncontrollable urges and even having demonic visions, indicating that, that we know now, but a psychosis. They did do a psychiatric evaluation and concluded that he was legally sane and fully aware of his actions. Don't get me started on this. A person can be fully aware of their actions, but feel this is for a different day. Let me keep going. The trial drew national attention, and the forensic evidence was what they called groundbreaking because it was the first time that BLOOD tests were the centerpiece of a prosecution. So people were amazed by it. At the end of it, he was found guilty. I mean, the man confessed. I don't know how he can't be found guilty, but okay. And he was sentenced to unaliving. He was unalived by guillotine, you know, in 1904.
Not that you know.
So, what they call the legacy of Ludwig, aka the Butcher, his crimes were shocking in the brutality, just that he had no real reason behind it besides having uncontrollable urges. Like, man, get a hobby. Don't lie people, especially kids. Okay,
Mom,
listen, I can't see what any of you guys are saying during all this. This man
Mama
is effed up. But the test, it became known. It laid the groundwork for forensic BLOOD typing that we know nowadays. And it would later evolve into DNA profiling. So this Dr. Paul, I think his name was, I said, he was the head of this breakthrough. And it ended up, his breakthrough solved countless crimes using biological evidence. So, I mean, kudos, Dr. Paul. Who remains, not Dr. Paul, but Tess now, remains one of Germany's most infamous historical murderers. Not because he was cunning or smart, but because I can't ask Mallory or Aries anything, because I'm probably going to send this Thursday morning to them or Wednesday night. I don't know. But for cases they are talking about are going to be interesting, and people are just going to, and I don't want to say enjoy true crime because that sounds weird. Be interested, enthralled, mesmerized. I don't know. Grab at the source. Pick a word. But that is,
you don't even have to grab at the source, Mama. You
of
just
mine.
look it on Google.
If I do happen to be able to be in chat while this is being said, and you see me, ask a question. Again, do not message me because I will either not see it or ignore it. Save. Yeah. And enjoy the stories that Aries and Mallory talk about. Bye, bitches. Ready for this?
All right. So that was Mama's case. Aries, are you there? Aries.
Okay, do me a favor and drop my other account.
Gotcha. I was like, okay, there we go.
Yeah, I was trying to make it work. Let me get out of the live on my other account. Hold on.
No worries. Katie, Mama's story was just up, and now it's Aries' turn.
Throw myself out. Hold on, let me turn this up. Give me like 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Double tap, please, and thank you. Yeah, every once in a while it does. We just finished up Mama's story, and then Aries is getting ready. I think she was having some technical difficulties, so she came in on her backup, and she's getting her stuff together real quick. How's everybody doing? Hey! So if everybody can tap, leave a comment. Yes, I love True Crime Night too. Mama might pop into the comments. She did pre-record hers for tonight. Thank you, Mama. Ooh, what's for dinner, Tuati? Oh,
What
okay.
I was doing was, sorry, I was sending myself the screenshots because for some reason the phone that I actually have Wi-Fi on is shittier than the hotspot that I'm using. Isn't that so stupid? Okay, so
yeah. All right, you're up.
Okay, let me know if you see a picture because I'm about to put something up. And the reason why I was in here on 2 accounts was to see if the picture was working, and it was not. So I figured y'all couldn't hear me. Okay. Can you see? Oh, hold on. I want you guys to be able to see this. Can you see that?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, awesome.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm reading off of screenshots, so bear with me. So I am talking about Alonzo Brooks. He was born in May of 1980, and he passed. I believe the date they have is April 3rd of 2004. He was only a year older than me, which is why this think it's still in there. This was in, his hometown was in Topeka, Kansas. However, this happened in Lacine, Kansas. He was described as like quiet, kind, very close with his family. I actually do have, this is a really nice picture. I like this picture. I do have a picture of him. So, April 3rd of 2004, he attended a party with his friends in Lacine, Kansas. It's a small town. It's like an hour away from where he originally lives. This is important for me to say, and it's going to sound a little weird, but the gathering of the party was mainly white people because it's a rural town in Kansas. And it's reported that some of the attendees used racial slurs and acted very aggressively towards Alonzo. He was supposed to have a ride, but his friends actually left the party without him. It was due to like a misunderstanding. I'm not sure if like they thought he had a ride and he thought he was going with them, but it was some sort of like misunderstanding. And he never returned home. So the next day on April 4th was when his family reported him missing. They said, he's not that type. They searched the area and they found no trace of him initially. When the friends and family had got into contact with each other, yes, there's an episode, I think it was like 2020, no, it's Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. So from what I gather, his family had went back to Lacine and they found his boots and his hat across the street from where the party was at. And then a little under a month later, is when his body was found. My neighbors probably think I'm so weird. I'm in like the main space. So he was discovered by his own family. It says here, and friends in a nearby creek in an area that law enforcement had already previously searched. There was no sign of like injuries or trauma, and his death was listed as undetermined. I believe that the autopsy had actually came back as, I believe it was ruled a homicide, but there was no like cause of death. I could be wrong on that. He was left out in the open for a month. However, they think he was not in the creek the whole time. There's no like broken bones, wounds identified. They think that he may have been moved and like kept somewhere else. It's been a cold case. It was again featured in 2020 on that Unsolved Mysteries. It's in season 1, episode 4, which has made like the this case a lot more popular again. And there's an active, when you look his name up, the first thing that pops up is like the FBI website that shows that there's an active $100,000 reward for anybody that has information leading to the arrest, charge, and conviction of his unaliver. Yes, in April of 2021, they officially ruled his unaliving a homicide, but they have not released the details of the cause. And then I believe that when they did do like an autopsy, they found out his body was too far deteriorated. A lot of people think that it was a hate crime cover-up, that he was unalived at or shortly after the party, and that the witnesses made inconsistent statements, which added to the suspicion. Some people think he got into an altercation, and someone panicked and moved him. And a lot of people criticize the small town silence of it all. Law enforcement was criticized for their lack of urgency, transparency, and the community's unwillingness to speak openly, and how it could have harmed the case and stuff. It's unique because it was, in a small town. The body reappearing, Alonzo Brooks, and the cause of death is just still unknown, despite the FBI being involved. I believe I saw in a video because I was scrolling on TikTok a little bit to see if I didn't want to watch the full have time. But my understanding of it was they had accused him of talking to somebody's girlfriend, and that's alleged, which was why they say that they heard somebody throwing racial slurs at him. And then he was found unalived shortly after. I had a picture of the obituary. He was really described as this person that was just really kind and caring, and would go to work and stay to himself and stuff like that. It's honestly heartbreaking because, like I said, he's around the same age as I am. He's only a year older than me, and it really boggles you on why his unaliver hasn't been caught yet. It's really tragic. I do have another picture of him as well. This is I thought I had it more zoomed out, but this is the official picture that they're using on the FBI poster that had first came out. That's kind of pretty much all I have. This one is kind of a short and simple one too. If anybody's got any questions, I can answer them. This one was kind of straight to the point. It's still an unsolved case. It has not been solved to this day.
It's
Yeah.
probably gonna look like we pre-planned this, but our cases are kind of similar in ways. You'll see when I go. But it's interesting because we both kind of came up with people who are still on the missing persons list, or unsolved.
Yeah, when you were telling me about yours a little bit earlier, I was like, oh, that's kind of like mine.
Yeah, when I was listening to yours, I was like, this is kind of like we hit the target this week.
Yeah, and I really liked it because I was looking for more unique cases. I wanted to step away from the kid ones because when they're little kids, it's really, really sad. So I wanted to step away from that and kind of do something a little more lighthearted.
That makes sense. I get it.
Well, not lighthearted, but
not as heavy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I didn't mean to say lighthearted.
Kids are hard to cover too. Okay. So I am going to go ahead. I'll start with mine. If anybody has questions, you can drop them and we can answer at the end. But my case this week is on the mysterious disappearance of Phoenix Coldon. And she was a 23-year-old woman who literally pulled out of her driveway in the middle of the afternoon at 3 p.m. Her parents are home. It's a regular Sunday. There's not really any fighting or any drama going on. She gets in her car. She doesn't she was maybe going to go to a convenience store. And that was the last time that anybody has seen her alive. Hours later, the car was found with the engine running, her door open, and a person inside, but she was nowhere to be found. There were no witnesses, no videos, no signs of struggle. Just basically, it was like she up and disappeared. And Phoenix was one of those people who had like everything going for her in life. She was smart, talented, driven. She was a champion fencer, a gifted musician. She did grow up homeschooled by strict religious parents. She was taking college courses and she was very active in her church community. And to the outside world, she was somebody that like any parent would be proud to have as a daughter. So what nobody realized was that like she kind of was living a second life. Like she was not happy with her home life. She was not really happy with how it was going. And so she had just gotten back home from church with her mom, and she was still dressed in sweatpants and a hoodie. It's nothing out of the ordinary, like I said. And at 3 p.m., she walks outside, gets into her 1998 Chevy Blazer, drove away, and her mom didn't think anything of it. But when she didn't come back, they obviously started to freak out. Now, later in the day, on the same day, across the Mississippi River from where she lived in East St. Louis, police found her Blazer and it was still running, driver's door wide open. Her glasses, purse, and ID were reported inside. Now, I will say there are some reports now that kind of question if that's true or not, but everything that I've seen points towards her ID, her purse, everything being there. There was no blood, there was no struggle, there was no her. And instead of calling the family and, running the plates or anything, the police basically towed the car and said that they didn't contact her family for over 2 weeks to tell them that they had found the car. They have this abandoned vehicle with everything inside on the day she vanished, but for some reason they didn't think to call to figure out who owned the car, any of that stuff. So the Coldons were kind of digging on their own, and that's kind of when they found out, like through all of this, that they really didn't know their daughter, because it turns out that she had a Facebook account that was under a fake name. She was texting with people that her parents didn't know, and she had video diaries where in one of them she was sitting in her car whispering to the camera, "I just want to be happy, man. I can't remember a time when I was happy, genuinely happy." So she's obviously like not okay in her life. Like she outwardly appears to be like this well put together person and has everything going for her in life, but her parents are finding out that, there's a side to her that she really hadn't shared with them. So she talks about feeling trapped, about how she wants to disappear, about how she wants to start over. And this kind of became something that hindered any type of investigation, because the question then became, was she just venting or was she planning to leave? Because the video was recorded only a few weeks before she disappeared. So obviously everybody has questions. And that's when all of the theories started to begin flying around. Her family has called hospitals, jails, anywhere and everywhere they can think. They've called looking for Phoenix. They can't find her. And the police definitely botched this by not letting them know for like 2 weeks that they had found the car. So the first theory is, did she run away? And maybe she clearly wanted a different life, so it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. She was very sheltered. She grew up with parents who were very strict, and she had created this whole identity that they had no clue about. She left her purse, she left her ID, her car. She took nothing that was hers with her, seemingly. The thing is that her social security number has never been used again after this. She's never had a job under it, no apartment, no bank withdrawals, and it's just like she disappeared off the grid completely. Second theory/question was she trafficked? So her car was found in East St. Louis, where there's a high crime rate area, and it's known somewhat for human trafficking from everything that I can see. And some believe she may have been meeting with somebody that she was speaking to and was abducted, or maybe she had been groomed for a while as this, albeit 23-year-old woman who was very sheltered. She grew up homeschooled and was just trying to kind of find her way in the world and got tangled up. So people have speculated that it was a setup. But again, there's no surveillance, there's no witnesses, there's no physical evidence, there's no tips, and even in everything that they found on their phone from what they've released, there hasn't been anything to indicate she was meeting up with somebody. So another question/theory is that, did something happen at home? Some have really started to point fingers at her parents, but there's never been any evidence that she was anything but happy. Her mother was she felt the pressure to be perfect, to follow the rules, to live a life she clearly wasn't feeling connected to. And that can weigh on a person, but at the same time, that doesn't necessarily indicate that her parents did something to her. Her video diaries were really just full of an internal conflict. She was torn between being the daughter that they expected her to be and becoming who she wanted to be, it seemed like. And the last theory with Phoenix last question is, was it just random foul play? Was she in the wrong place at the wrong time? Did she pull over to help somebody and they just took her? Was she picked up? Was she attacked? Was she taken? Her car, the way it was found running and everything, suggests that she may have gotten out willingly. She knew she was going to come back to it and she never did. Because again, everything's left in there. Or she may have been forced to have left it and just kind of been pulled out, and that was that. But again, there was no sign of struggle, there was no blood, there was no witnesses, and most importantly, there was no immediate sincerity put behind the thought that we just found this random vehicle from the police where it's been left as it is, and maybe we should run the plates and contact the family. None of that was done. The family didn't know the car was found for 2 weeks. And then the police finally let them know. Now, one of the things to remember is that Phoenix is 23 years old at the time that all of this happened. And that would mean that she is considered an adult. And typically in police eyes, unless they have something, or before, a lot of times what we have seen is if they don't have a reason to believe that there was foul play, it becomes a case of, well, they're an adult, they're allowed to disappear, and it's not illegal to not contact your family. So the case really never got media attention. It didn't explode into national news. It wasn't treated like it really mattered, in my opinion, because again, they just looked at this as a 23-year-old girl who was tired of her life and up and left it, probably. It wasn't until 2018 when Oxygen released a documentary called The Disappearance of Phoenix Coldon that people outside the St. Louis area had even really heard her name. So in the series, what I was able to kind of gather from it, investigators did try to follow her digital footprint some, and they did find that she had a second phone, she had secret relationships, and that there had been potential sightings of her, but they went as far as to track down a woman in California who was said to have matched her description to a T, and they ran DNA test, and it was not her. So there's still no answers as to what happened, but her parents, Goldia is her mom's name, and Lawrence, are still searching and still hoping that one day they'll figure out what happened to their daughter. They don't know if she ran away, if she was taken, if she was trafficked, if she was murdered. All they know is she was there. She walked outside the door. She got into her car and she never came back. So I thought this was a really important thing to cover tonight because if somebody happens to watch this and has information, this is kind of the missing persons info. But yeah, that's the crime. Yeah, I can't imagine not knowing. Like, and having the police come to you after 2 weeks and say, "Oh, well, we found the car like 2 weeks ago." Like, there's no telling what the family might have been able to do. And then I saw someone say something about dragging the river. I don't know if that was ever done or not, but I would imagine in 2 weeks, if a person was just dumped into the river, the body would have traveled pretty far. So she probably would not realistically show up in the same area as where they tossed her if they had done that. So I don't know. Basically, everything that I have found is like they found the car and they just were careless about it. They kind of just, honestly, it's like sloppy police work, which is everything that I typically cover when I cover cases, is like how an investigation has been botched. And this case never really had like a start point to it because even when the family was notified, it's still, oh, she's 23 years old. They can't release an Amber Alert on her because she's an adult. And like I said, it's not illegal for adults to not contact their parents anymore and go and like start another life. But as the years have passed, it's become more and more obvious that something's probably happened, given none of her information. Like, I mean, she never logged back into her social media account. She's not had anything in her name under her social security. Oh, they showed it on Live PD. I missed that episode. I remember the Karen Reed botch story time. Stop it. Yeah, and she was like a beautiful, beautiful woman. Like, and she had a lot of accomplishments. Like I said, she was like a champion fencer. She had a lot going for her. She just, yeah, it sounds like, honestly, like, personally, this is my opinion. To me, it sounds like she met somebody online and she was really unhappy. And from everything I've read, she had a really sheltered life, a super sheltered life. And I could imagine in 2011 finding an opportunity to meet somebody that you think you can trust. Because, I mean, even in 2011, social media wasn't like old. Like, I mean, we were still kind of getting used to some platforms and stuff. And, yeah. So I think she probably, in her naivety, met somebody she thought she could trust, and something probably did go wrong, but that's my opinion. Again, it's completely possible that she could have staged everything to look like she ran away, but or like staged everything to look a type of way, but yeah, that's my thing. I don't think she would have left her car running and all of her stuff. Like, I feel like for me, it almost sounds like she either got out to help somebody or she knew the person she was opening the door to, and from there it just kind of went downhill. Yeah, I think it's important that like kids understand the world. I do. I mean, maybe that's having grown up on AIM and not lived that, but yeah.
Like
The,
a small
oh,
town?
what?
Was she in like a small town?
It was like right outside. Hold on. Let me look it up. I'll tell you how big it was. Because she was missing from Spanish Lake, Missouri. I'll tell you the population. Yeah, it's less than 20,000 people as of 2023. Yeah, I'll get it on YouTube. I have to upload last week, and I have the week before loaded. I just need to publish it. Sorry, guys. I know I'm behind on it.
That makes me upset because it's kind of like my case. Like, it was a small town. Police really didn't give a fuck. Like,
well, and she was from Spanish Lake, but she was on the east side of St. Louis, like, so you would think since it's that bigger area, it would have been taken more seriously given it's like the St. Louis area, but yeah. Now you get up
Oh,
here.
bitches and assholes.
Fucking can't with you. So that's my story, honestly. I don't have much more to contribute to it right now. I mean, I don't know how everyone else feels. I know when I was going through it and kind of learning about it, because this one was new to me. I've never heard of it. I felt a type of way. And I just, for a 23-year-old girl who is very sheltered and feeling a type of way, I feel like it would be really hard for her to just disappear off the face of the earth. Yeah.
rude. She just came up here to cuss at us.
So from everything I found, it looks like her parents said she was going to like a convenience store. So they had like a rough idea that she was going out, but she said she'd be back. And it was 2011, so we weren't really in the age of like apps that tracked your every move and stuff. I don't know. I just can't believe it took the police 2 weeks to reach out to the family. But okay. Yeah, store or a friend's. Yeah, the store was the one that kept coming up for me. It was 3 o'clock on a Sunday, and she might have given one parent one thing and another to the other. Or maybe like she was 23. Maybe they didn't make her tell her everywhere she was going. I think she just had a really strict upbringing, and I think we all have been in that space, and I think she finally hit that phase of her life where she felt like she was trying to do things to please her parents, but then she also felt that she wanted to live her life a type of way. And for me, I think that's the big point of shelter for her, was like she wanted to be the perfect child from everything I've been able to find, and like be what her parents wanted her to be. But obviously sometimes we don't want to be what our parents want us to be. Oh, dang, Savage. That's crazy. But that's all I've got for tonight. I know it's a shorter true crime night, but honestly, like after this afternoon, I'm zonked. The drama got me. Holy crap, Savage, that's insane. Oh, stop it, Kristen. Thank you, Goddess Sarah. Okay, I will definitely look into it.
Like, this isn't true crime, but like, it happens every freaking day where people unalive or get unalived for any reason. Like, I'm not sure if I've talked about it on here, but I've definitely told you guys about how my sister was driving around and she ended up watching somebody crash and pass. Like, he instantly passed. Like, she walked up on him and he was already passed. And it's a tragic thing. Like, whether it's by someone else's doing, whether it's like a natural disaster and something happens, illnesses, either way, it's such a tragic thing, and we got to learn to appreciate each other and be there for each other and
You know the
all that stuff.
field that I showed that's like right in front of my house, and the house that's
Yeah.
over there that's kind of by itself. A couple of years ago, Arvel and I woke up and like there were obviously like flashing lights going on. And we looked outside and there was a fire truck, and we ended up finding out that there was a guy walking down the road and someone hit him pretty hard and he died there. So you never know. Like, I mean, anything can fucking happen. Scary as shit.
It's a scary feeling.
Mm-hmm. But I think I'm gonna get off here and get this downloaded so that way I have it ready to upload. I think I still need to go back on the other one and get the other one downloaded. But 2 weeks ago, I have it up. I just need to get the info in it, and then I'll get that posted. So I hope everybody has a good night, though. I don't think I'll be back on. So I'll see you all later.